I think every YouTube creator knows the feeling of putting up a video that they really believe in and that they're excited to present to people, and then having that video immediately die. You have this topic that you can't wait to engage people with, and there's just no interest whatsoever. And you know the feeling. As soon as you put it up, you can see, oh, this is doing nothing. This is never going to do anything. It's almost like the algorithm decides, nope, we don't want that. But I don't know that it is the algorithm. I had this feeling again just yesterday, because as I'm recording this video, I put up an episode that's a conversation between me and filmmaker Tom Odell, who has crafted this really expansive look at the fantasy genre. The movie is called Fantasy Rising. That looks at 200 years of the fantasy genre. We're talking about Tolkien. We're talking about Game of Thrones. We're talking about Conan the Barbarian. We're talking about Dungeons and Dragons. We're talking about The Wizard of Oz, Harry Potter, all that stuff. This huge look at how fantasy has evolved over roughly 200 years. And I'm really passionate about that subject matter. I'm an avid reader. I read for hours every single day. And I love fantasy. I love a lot of those properties. And my audience seems to have zero interest in that conversation, and that it's disappointing. It's also frustrating, and I wonder if it's just me or if there's some inherent pushback against the arts right now, because I mean, really, anytime I make a video that's a deviation from holding up a box and saying this is out now and it includes, and then read the back of the box, anytime I make a video that's a deviation of that gets away from that, it doesn't do very well. But I wonder, because this project that Tom Odell is making right now, so the documentary is pretty much done. It's going to see the light of day somewhere. But the Kickstarter, there's a Kickstarter for it, and it was really for the fans so that we can own it. It's like, this will be streaming at some point, but you can own it in a deluxe edition with deleted scenes, a whole second disc of interviews with people, bells and whistles, art cards, all the stuff that we love as collectors. And he has, as of this recording, with 2/3 of the time having passed, I think it was a 30-day campaign, there's, a few days left, is struggling to get 100 people to support this project. Now, if this was a horror project, let's be freaking honest with ourselves. If this was a horror documentary, the support would be in the thousands. There are companies that cynically crap out, these retrospectives where people go like, oh, do you remember when you saw Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time and he was like, I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy. Amazing. And that's a documentary. That's somehow that's journalism, I guess now. It's just selling nostalgia, and people are like, take my money as fast as you can. Meanwhile, someone tries to do a creative thing that's intelligent and has this large look at how something is created, and there seems to be general apathy about this thing. And I see it on my own channel. I am haunted by certain comments. You build a thick skin when you're a YouTube creator, because people say the dumbest things to you. Everything. I mean, it's a daily thing. Like, how dumb can someone be? Someone will say something like mind-bendingly stupid to you on a daily basis. But I did say one time, this was years ago, as I was first starting to grapple with the fact that the slow dawning that a lot of the people watching my channel have no interest in discussing movies. They only want to discuss buying movies. And I said at some point that I think more people would watch a video of me showing my Steven Spielberg Blu-rays than if I talked to Steven Spielberg on my channel. And a person actually said, yep, that's exactly what I want. I have no interest in what Spielberg has to say, but I would love to see your Spielberg collection. As if what I have on my shelf would be any different than what you have on your shelf. And that comment has just, what's the quote? It lives rent-free in my head, because I'm like, that's probably the audience. Based on the numbers that I see, that's probably who I'm talking to most of the time. Hey, buddy, don't talk about the art. Just show us the consumerism stuff. Just show us the plastic. Show us the paper and the plastic. And so I really find myself speeding towards a crossroads. In the past, I've made videos, really it's been a couple of years now, where I'm grappling with YouTube just wants to sell you things, but I want to have a conversation about the things. And so I make other kinds of videos. I started a podcast. I've talked to dozens and dozens of creative people. I've talked to people at labels, but I've also talked to movie stars. I've talked to actors. I've talked to writers and directors and filmmakers. And every single time those videos about the thing with interesting people fail to hit the numbers or even really get close to the numbers of me holding up a box and saying, well, this is out now. And I don't know. I don't know if it's the algorithm that is just, because the algorithm does promote consumerism. You know, every video that I put up an interview with an actor. It was Juliet Mills. I put up I talked to Juliet Mills, wonderful actor, stage, screen. She talked about working with Terrence Stamp on stage in Alfie. Rest in peace, Terrence Stamp. Amazing stories. When I put up these videos, I remember specifically putting up this Juliet Mills video, and the YouTube updates as I'm uploading it says, searching for products to link to. You know, it's looking for the algorithm, that the AI machinery is looking for things to sell you in the middle of an interview with an actor. Isn't that amazing that that's the world that we live in? And so as a creative person who wants to have conversations about, you know, what does this mean? You know, look at this performance. Let's talk about High Noon and what High Noon actually means as a film. But more and more people are like, I don't want you to talk about High Noon. I want you to tell me what the slipcover looks like. And so as I continue to make these other kinds of videos, and they continue to get fewer and fewer views, I'm really wondering if this platform has ceased to be useful to me. I am really wondering if this platform has ceased to be useful in general. And I don't know what direction to go with this. You know, I am going on 9 years now with Cereal at Midnight, and I've always heard, I knew this at the very beginning, that the average YouTube channel, a successful YouTube channel, has a lifespan of about 8 years. And the reason for that is because after 8 years, you've either said everything that you had to say, or, as is often just as likely the case, the platform is done with you. I used to could put up a video, the same kind of video that I would make now. I could put up a video about, like, here's some new things that came out, and it would have 30,000 views in a day or 2 days. These things would just like, pew, they just shot off, because I don't know if it was because I was a newer voice on the platform. Now those same kinds of videos might get 1,000 views. It might get 2,000 views. It might get less than that. It is as if this platform has said, you've given us what you had to give. We're kind of done with you. And I'm like, well, I still have more things to say. I want to talk about, you know, my nostalgia for this particular thing. And it's like, I mean, you can do it, but we're not going to show it to people. And even the audience seems to be apathetic to a lot of those kinds of videos. I don't know the path forward. There's a couple of different directions here. Direction one is I just stop. And I go write my books that I want to write, because I have things to say. I'm not going to stop talking. I'm not going to stop sharing my perspective on things. I'm not going to stop watching movies. I could go do commentaries. You know, I've been on more than 24 commentaries so far as of this recording. And there's more coming. There's more in the pipeline for me. I could just go do commentaries. And when I'm not doing commentaries, I could be working on my books, my retrospectives about certain topics. At least on the other side of that, there's a product that's there forever that I've created. And I can talk about that wherever, you know, to anybody that'll have me. That's one path. The other path is maybe I just give in. And I say, okay, you want the new release coverage. If that's the only thing that this algorithm cares about, if that's the only thing that the audience cares about, I'll cover new releases. And then that's all I'll talk about. I'll do unboxing videos. I won't share my thoughts on the movies. I won't share my thoughts on my passion for a particular actor. I'll just show you the stuff. And then I'll use my memberships, my channel memberships, to talk about some of the things I'm more interested in, like my paperback book obsession or my Starlog collection that I'm trying to build. Even that, you know, I made a video about, you know, I'm going for a full run of Starlog magazine. That video did okay, but nowhere near what a video showing new things from Kino Lorber or from Imprint or anybody like that. It's just a fraction of what a video showing new releases would be. And so the message is clear. Don't talk about what you're interested in. Just show us the stuff. I made a video about my struggle with collecting. Collecting is changing. My thoughts on collecting are changing. That's been seen by like 17,000 people. That really resonated in the collecting community because we're all realizing that we're running out of space, we're running out of time, we're running out of room, but it's hard to curb our tendencies because collecting makes us happy, puts order in our brains. I make that video, I put it up, and I say, you know, there's more to life than just blindly consuming. And 17,000 people have seen that and counting, and I've gotten so much support for that. And then anytime I make a video that's not about collecting, it doesn't do well. So it is if the message that I'm getting based on the numbers and the data that YouTube gives me is that we want to complain about collecting, but we still only want to talk about collecting. Yeah, man, it's so expensive to be a collector right now. Hey, show me the new stuff. These don't gel. These are two conflicting things. So really, look, I mean, I don't know. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed at the direction things are going. I'm disappointed that I'm probably not going to get this documentary about Fantasy Rising that I can have, that I can own. I'm not going to ever see these deleted scenes. I'm not going to see these extended interviews with authors that I care about, with filmmakers that I care about, because there's no support for it. There's only support for the same stuff that gets sold schlockily and endlessly all day, every day. We seem incapable of getting off the well-trod path. I make videos about my movie theaters. I make videos about new movies at the theater. I make movies about the things that I'm really interested in right now. I make videos about new disc releases. Yay! But it's not like, yeah, it's like, you know, the numbers kind of go up and then they go right back down again. There seems to be no interest. It really seems like, I mean, it seems like I'm done. It seems like I'm done, but here's the thing. I'm not done, and I have more things that I want to say. So do I continue to say them to no one listening? That's not fair. It's not no one, but to a drastically smaller audience than I know is out there watching me or aware of me, my subscriber base. Or do I throw in the towel and take my energies elsewhere to some place that is more rewarding? Again, you write a book, you got a book at the end of the process. You have something that you can sell, something that you can promote, something that you can discuss endlessly, and you're not promoting somebody else's product. It's yours. You did the thing. Or do I switch to a paywall format where the good stuff, in my opinion, the good stuff is all behind a paywall? You want to see me unbox discs? Fine. But if you want to see what I think about stuff, you got to pay, you got to become a member. Which, by the way, is $5 to become a channel member. The lack of support for creators in this sphere is really, it's astonishing. People will say, I don't have money for that. And then you see them talking about all the $50 releases that they've bought. I'm like, no, you do have the money. You just don't care about supporting creators. You just want to have stuff. You're addicted to the thrill of it. But I guess we're all addicted to the thrill of it. I'm not trying to be judgmental. I'm just trying to be real. I'm at a loss. I'm at a crossroads, and the signs seem to be telling me, you know, you really have only a couple of directions to go. You can't continue like this. It really seems like I can't continue like this. And it makes me sad because I have so much that I want to say. I have so much that I want to talk about. All right, guys. There's no happy ending to this. There's no like, but it's gonna be okay, because it's probably not. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Take care. Hey, support an independent creator. If it's not me, support somebody else. Independent creators could really use your support. I'll catch you later.